Wow. Clearly, I wasn't ready for this. I don't have anything written, and I'm actually wearing the same jacket as my photo, so I really wasn't prepared for this. I'm sitting there going, shoot, it's the same jacket. Thank you. First of all, I have to say, I am so impressed, so emotionally touched, seeing an ocean of women who are ambitious, accomplished, who are either asking for a seat at a table or have built their own table. So kudos to all of you. When I was sitting at my table, I was reminded of a day. It was a Christmas morning, 6:30 in the morning, as I was sitting in the bulletproof booth where I cashiered at the gas station, 17 years old. I had no parents, very little money, didn't really know what I was going to do next. And I was thinking, I am the only person awake right now. But even then, if they asked me, Shirin, what are you going to do when you grow up? I knew it. I used to say, I'm going to run a big business, and I'm going to be on the cover of a magazine. It won't be a fashion magazine, but it'll be a magazine. Which, you think about it, a poor 17-year-old immigrant Iranian woman without parents, why would she think that way? Those images that you're seeing right now with the girls on the streets of Iran, that was me. I was 15, I was 16. I was arrested multiple times. I watched atrocities. I grew up in a war zone. I had a loving family that decided that she's bright, she can build a life, and it won't be here. So I had to leave everything I knew, my parents, my family, my friends, my home, and start afresh in the United States with very little money. Thankfully, I had that vision, which mobilized me. I ended up going to college, and like I said, I was mentioned here, I started with EY, loved it, was a CPA, but that vision pulled me. And I said, you know, if I'm gonna run my own business someday, I have to understand financial management. So I left. Amazing. That was very difficult to do. Started working as a CFO, was an offsite CFO, and then came across a small company with a small number of people, and I thought, maybe this is where I can help build. For years, it was very difficult. We couldn't even pay the bills. It's the entrepreneurial journey and challenge is real. Until we found our secret sauce and continued to grow. Ended up expanding to different brands, and eventually, while we were on the up, the world said, well, here's a great recession and it's housing-led, and you're in the home improvement, so good luck with that. It was a very difficult time for us, and we learned how to navigate through recession. That's exactly when I got very, very sick. I had 2 children, I was the breadwinner, and we had a great recession, and I was about to die. By the grace of God, of course, I lived through it, learned to walk and talk, and we ended up all finding our way out of that great recession, built the company, brought in private equity, as mentioned, and grew the company with this vision that we are going to be able to build a platform here. So as CEO, we left no stones unturned, continued to grow to 4 brands, and by the time I thought it was time to move on, we had grown into 12,000 cities. Our franchisees were installing 70,000 units a week. I had been on the cover of Forbes.com. My vision had come to life. But I knew, I was confident, all of that was built on one very important core principle in my life, which I call my motto: doing well by doing good. You do good. You do good work, you do good by others, you do good to lift them, to do good in the community, you do good, and that's how you'll be rewarded. That's how I believe I ended up doing well. So if my first act in life was to grow up in Iran, the second act was everything I had accomplished. Now I had arrived at my third act. And believe me, third act makes the first and second make sense. My third act is all about finding ways to give back through philanthropic work, through all of the organizations that were mentioned. Helping women blossom is near and dear to my heart, as well, of course, advising and serving boards. So I want to thank you. I want to thank you for being here. I want to thank you for paving the way for other women to as well be here. I remember one of the panel discussions I had with our private equity partners about women in business. The moderator in the green room said, Shirin, you know that of all the private equity-backed companies in the United States, only 3% is run by women. That's a rounding error. And I thought, well, brown women? Then I must be the only one, you guys. But we were on that stage because we were very good CEOs. And I think so many of you are very good at what you do. Clearly, that's why you're here, so you should be proud of that. So, on behalf of the 17-year-old sitting at that gas station, I want to say I'm so honored to be sitting among all of you, and I thank you for this award. I have one thing to say. And I'm going to go off script and tell you one thing. As an Iranian woman, I want to ask you all to please pay attention to what's going on in Iran. I've been on the news. I talked to President Biden last week. This is a cause that's being led by Iranian women, Iranian girls, asking for their most fundamental human rights and risking their lives. This is clearly a revolution that's led by women, and it's rightful and it's just. It's not political. It's about human rights. The slogan and the chant is women, life, freedom. Please be their voices, echo their voices, and pay attention to what's going on. Thank you.